So, in the high stakes world of auto tech, one of the biggest names out there, Aptiv is doing something pretty wild. They're literally splitting themselves in two. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar breakup, and you better believe we're going to get to the bottom of why.
Now, you might be thinking, this is a $20 billion company, right? They seem to be doing great, so what's the deal? Why would they just decide to break up? Well, that's the big question we're tackling today. And trust me, the answer is this incredible puzzle of money, how Wall Street sees them, and really the future of cars.
All right, so first things first, to really get this split, you got to understand what Aptiv even is. And at a glance, it seems pretty straightforward.
Okay, so think about all the smart stuff in a new car. You know, the software, all the sensors, the electronics that make everything work. That's Aptiv's world. They're basically the brains and the nervous system of the car. But here's the thing. That super high-tech image, it doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, because if you really look under the hood, Aptiv isn't one company. It's more like two totally different businesses sharing the same garage. And for today, let's just call them the brains and the brawn. So on one hand, you've got the brains. This is the flashy, futuristic side. We're talking software, safety systems, all that cool stuff. It's a massive $12.2 billion business, and it could easily grow beyond just cars. Then you've got the brawn. This is the heavy lifting industrial side. Think massive wiring harnesses, connectors, the stuff that actually makes the car's electrical system function. It's still huge, $8.3 billion, but it's very much a traditional car parts business. So you see, two totally different animals, both making a ton of money. And this is where it gets interesting. One analyst, Luke Junk, nailed it. He said this whole thing is about chasing higher return opportunities. So what does that mean in plain English? It means they're not just trying to be a better car part supplier anymore. Nope. This is about chasing the biggest profits, wherever they can find them. And the key to that is realizing just how different the profits are between the brains and the brawn.
Okay, check this out. 18.8%. That's the profit margin for the brains business. Now, for those who don't follow this stuff daily, that's what we call an EBITDA margin. And nearly 19% is really, really good. That's tech company good. All right, remember that number, 18.8.
Because this is the margin for the brawn, 9.5%. Now, don't get me wrong, that's still solid profit, but it's less than half of its high-tech sibling. And bam, right there, that's the whole problem in a nutshell. You have one part of the company that performs like a cutting-edge tech firm and another that performs like a classic, old-school manufacturer. It's a clash of worlds. So let's talk about why they're actually splitting up. It really all comes down to that huge difference in profit. Okay, to get the money side of this, we need a quick lesson on something called a valuation multiple. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It's just a number that shows how much investors are willing to pay for every dollar a company earns. The rule is simple. Cool, high-growth tech companies get a high number. Slower, more industrial companies, they get a much lower one. And here is where it all falls apart for Aptiv. Look at this. As a combined company, Wall Street gives them a multiple of about 7.5. Now look at their competitors. Sensatog gets a 9. And a company like TE Connectivity, which is seen as a true tech player, they get a massive 16. So you see the problem? The brawn business is dragging the whole company's valuation down. Wall Street looks at them and just doesn't see the amazing brains business hiding inside. Basically, the market is looking at Aptiv and just seeing a regular old car parts company. It's not seeing the high-growth tech powerhouse that's part of the package. It's a classic case of mistaken identity. The brawn is casting this huge shadow over the brains, and it's literally costing them billions of dollars in value. So what's the solution? A corporate divorce. All right, so what happens next? What do these two new companies look like once they go their separate ways? The new Aptiv is going to be all brains, all the time. Pure, high-margin software and safety tech. They're going to build on big acquisitions they've already made, like Wind River, to expand beyond cars into other industries. The entire goal is to finally get Wall Street to see them for what they are, a cutting-edge tech company that deserves that high valuation. And the brawn? Well, that spun-off company gets a crystal-clear mission: get lean and mean. The whole game is efficiency. We're talking more automation, better manufacturing, anything to squeeze more profit out of the business. And you know what? A streamlined business like that could become a really juicy target for another big company to come in and buy it up. So let's be clear. This is not just some boring corporate shuffle. This is a massive billion-dollar bet. The gamble is that by setting these two businesses free, they will unlock a ton of value that's currently hidden. And it's a gamble that we've seen pay off big time for other companies.
Yeah, see, Aptiv isn't making this up as they go. They're following a playbook that has worked wonders. Just look at BorgWarner last year. They spun off a company called Finia, and its stock basically doubled. Even more amazing, look at General Electric's huge breakup this year. The boring energy business GE Vernova saw its stock quadruple. It did even better than the sexy aerospace company. It just goes to show the strategy can work.
But, like any big bet, it's not a sure thing. So here's the bottom line. The best case scenario? The market gets it, the value is unlocked, and the combined stock price jumps maybe 25%. That's the dream. The risk? Investors stay skeptical, they still just see two car companies, and the whole plan fizzles. The stock could actually drop 15%. High stakes, for sure. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. We all know cars are basically becoming computers on wheels, right? So this breakup really forces you to think, which part of that is the smarter bet? Is it the brawn, the physical hardware that makes it all possible? Or is it the brains, the software and intelligence that runs the show? Aptiv has made its bet. They think the answer is both, but only if they're separate. Now it's up to Wall Street to decide if they're right.